welcome everybody to episode 3 of our Rime of the Frost Maiden campaign. I've got everybody with me. How's everyone doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Great.
Super.
Wonderful.
Fantastic. Alright. So we have, for everyone who chimed in, we've got Brian, we've got Nate, we've got Billy, Nick, and Clara. We have Matt. So, let's go ahead and start. Before we begin though, if you're watching in chat and you haven't followed yet, hit the follow button. If you're watching us the day after on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and get notified when we post a new video up. It goes up 24 hours afterwards because of strict regulations from Twitch. So, with that, let's begin with the recap. Last week, we picked up with the party having just witnessed the death of the soothsayer Hethel. From there, you guys had some conversations with Cardoth, the head man around Caer Dineval. Spoke to him a little bit. He brought you some unfortunate news that he could not give you the tents that he had promised, but was able to procure some healing potions. After that, you took some time to identify the green lantern that was given to you to track this elemental Chewinga that you were looking for. Setting off out of town, stopping in at the tavern to get one last meal and one last drink before embarking north to Caer Konig. You guys made conversation with some merchants and the tavern keeper and headed out. You were caught in a short blizzard of sorts and making your way north, it was discovered that you were being stalked by a Yeti amidst the blizzard, to which Lysander was able to load up his crossbow and fire a warning shot, and as the Yeti realized that his cover was blown, receded back into the white depths of this blizzard and was hidden away. A close encounter for sure. Maybe not the last that you'll see of that Yeti that seems to be hunting on that road. Making it into Caer Konig, you were able to try to find the Chewinga. You noticed some minor burglaries that had happened on the outskirts of town. You met the town speaker, Trovis, who was in the middle of a snow pile. You were also able to track the small-time thieves, and the tracks led you to a small igloo just not too far from where the burglary happened, where you found this Chewinga and two others playing house and making a meal out of the snow with the forks and cutlery they had stolen, ultimately befriending it and convincing it to be able to follow you back to wherever you decide to lead it. It has trusted you with your judgment. Discovering some more footprints amongst town, you've realized that there was an invisible stalker running around, and Lysander was able to track that one down as well, and from there was able to track it to the outskirts of town and made pursuit, to which you saw that these footprints got larger and larger, and eventually running into a minor ambush with one of these Duergar. Swiftly dispatching this Duergar from its life, you proceeded to continue tracking these footprints, leading you to a large construct that's outside of the large hillside and around Caer Konig. You made your way back to town and you reported your findings to the town speaker in the tavern, drinking away whatever worries he has, offering a small reward, or asking for a small reward in return of some of the stolen items that the Duergar had stolen. We ended the session outside of Frozen Far Frontiers, or Frozen Far expeditions, where you were able to procure 2 tents of a smaller variety and 1 larger tent. Is there anything else that anyone would like to add to that recap?
Carcass did not kill Zizix.
Carcass did not kill Zizix. Yes, we are continuing with the theme that everyone once per episode will make mention that Zizix is quickly going to be killed sometime, maybe not in the future. So, anything else?
And Laponte stayed back at the castle to build me a lab.
Yes, he did. He did hang back and stay over at where you guys had been offered to set up shop, and Zizix was able to procure himself a lab.
It's honest work.
Honest work for an honest job. So, we'll pick back up inside of the inn, the Northern Light, where Lysander has just returned with the goods.
Alright, so I'm gonna walk in with these tents and address everyone. I found shelter for the road ahead.
Well, Vega will perk up at that. Say, oh, finally got some tents, did we?
That we did. Townsfolk here were kind enough to lend them to us. Well, not lend them, but you know, they're ours now.
Well, that's good. That'll probably make the cold a little easier to bear when those blizzards just sneak up on us.
I'd agree.
So, what's next? Where to now? I forget where we were going. I fell asleep after I ate.
But never forgets.
So, while you guys are having this discussion, the innkeeper is cleaning up the table in front of you, and Trovis is downing his, you've count, second bottle of mead or wine, and starts to head back outside, and he says, "Thank you for this information, and I do hope that you assist us in this endeavor to protect the town, as we don't have very much to spare in the ways of manpower to be able to take on a fortress head on, but a group of adventurers like yourself, like myself in my heyday, I think you guys would be fit for that job."
Well, if we were to do that in the near future, would you have any men you could spare to send with us?
I'll have to evaluate who's ready. We have a few people recovering from frostbite, unfortunately, but we could see if we could send a person or two.
That would be helpful.
Well, till we meet again, eh?
Till then, I tip my hat at him.
Alright.
So, are we gonna make our way back to the castle from whence we came, or do we want to try to stay here? What time is it actually getting to be?
The sun is about to set.
And we're about an hour out?
2.
2 hours out. Okay. Well, do we want to venture back to said castle, or do we want to stay here? It's only going to get colder.
I say we head back to the castle. I mean, we got tents now if another blizzard sneaks up before we make it. So I think that might be the best bet.
Yeah, Zizix will pipe in and say, "Yeah, I don't have any money, so I can't afford a room anyway."
All right. Well, if you're all finished with your dinner, let's head out.
All right. So heading out. You guys head, I believe, east out of town to get back to the road heading south, and you start your trek. Who's leading the way, and who's pulling up the rear?
I'll stay in the back. I'll be the caboose.
Okay. And who's navigating?
You know what? I'll lead.
Alright, go ahead and make a survival check. As it is nighttime and the trail is not yet so clear. Especially after a recent blizzard, everything's kind of all washed over in fresh snow.
That'd be 17.
Okay. You feel like you're doing a pretty good job navigating, sticking to the road. You catch all the subtle clues, like the recesses in the edge of the path are just a tiny bit lower than they are off track, so you feel like you do a good job keeping on the trail.
Alright, well that's good then, I guess.
Is anyone carrying torches or some sort of light source?
Well, I guess is the lantern still lit?
I think you would have blown it out after you found the elemental, but that's up to you.
Who actually has it?
I thought it was you.
No, Eclipse took it from me, I believe.
That may be a possibility.
Because I tried to light it, but my hand was shaky, and I didn't want to spill the oil all over the place.
Oh yes, that's true.
Yeah. Then after I did light it myself, it would be in my position.
Okay.
Okay. It'd still be lit, right?
We found the...
It would have been blown out, yes.
Okay, so it is not lit then.
No, I just said so.
Would anyone like to use a light source?
I guess if we can light the torch back up, I'll carry it since I'm leading the way.
Zizix will grab one of his stones out of his pocket and squeeze it really tight and open his hand, and some light's gonna emit in a 5-foot radius.
Okay.
Cool, that'll work.
You see a figure lurking ahead, traveling towards you from town of Caradinaval, and it seems to be coming into your direction as you guys are on the same path. As it draws closer, you see that it has a draconic features, as it's all bundled up in this heavy winter clothing, and he stops to approach you guys. Good morning.
Well, hey there, friend. How are you?
At least I think it's morning. I've been inside since the sun has set. How are you guys?
Doing all right, I suppose. What can we do you for?
And he takes his time to look at each of you, and he says, "Well, I happen to see that you have this elemental Chewinga with you." And he spots it riding on top of Eclipse, and kind of makes eye contact with it. And he points out with this really tiny hand. He says, "How much do you want for it?"
Will not be selling this, thank you.
What about for 50 gold?
No.
I could go 60.
I bet you could, but the answer's still no.
Let's let the rest of the party speak for it, shouldn't we? I mean, it's a group decision, I would assume.
Okay, then I will also speak and say no.
I'll step forward and say, it's not for sale.
And let's have, since Bego's leading the party, go ahead and make a perception check.
Can do.
Dude!
No.
Not fail. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Let's see, since Lysander also went up to speak, I'll give it to you as well. Eclipse, you can go ahead and make the roll too.
I got a 14.
14.
That's 7.
You have a
So, Eclipse, with your fine hearing, you hear a second voice that you don't see where it is coming from, and you hear it say, "Ask him for 70. Ask him for 70. Just really quiet, really at a hushed tone. And then the Dragonborn speaks, so what about 70? Would you take 70?
Still no there, friend.
Name your price. We really want this Chewinga. We would spare no expense.
Zizix is going to pipe up and say, "Sir, you just need to stand aside before my friend here decides to get a little handsy with you." He'll kind of nod to Caucus. There is a blizzard coming, and we need to get out of this.
Okay, go ahead and make a deception roll for that.
Uh, 13.
He says, well, be that as it may, maybe we can go back to town before the blizzard sets in. And Eclipse, you hear a second voice saying, "Hey, there's no blizzard coming. There's nothing. That was a lie."
Sir? There
Yes?
wouldn't happen to be... You're not alone, are you?
What do you mean? I am a mighty dragonborn with the scales of red from an ancient red dragon, and I am proud of my heritage.
So, the other voice that I'm hearing coming from your general vicinity is just nothing, then?
What other voice? I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, what about the fact that you said we really want it?
I didn't say that.
You absolutely did. You said we.
I heard you say we too.
Be that as it may, I would really like this Chewinga.
Zizix is gonna just scream out, "Carcass! Get him!"
Oh, who am I getting?
Teach him.
This Dragonborn. He's trying to get our friend.
Oh, which friend did he want to buy?
The Chewinga.
Oh, okay. How much?
40 gold.
No, there will be no selling of anyone here today.
Let's just keep moving, shall we?
Agreed.
Where are we going?
We are going somewhere else.
Can we come with you?
No.
Did I just hear a we again?
No, absolutely not. Can I come with you?
Also no.
Can he come with you?
Who's he?
I'm trying to see if different pronouns work for you.
All pronouns in reference to you or whoever else you have with you are no. Negative. No.
And let's have everyone make a perception check really quick.
That's a 12.
11.
Yeah, you two spot it immediately, and you see that in this man's heavy winter clothing, that the bottom starts to spread apart, and you catch the glimpse of a reptilian, draconic-looking eye, and it starts to suddenly move backwards as it lays its eye on Carcass. And Eclipse, having heard it earlier before, you hear him say, "Oh shit, it's a Minotaur! Oh shit!" And quickly, the legs of this Dragonborn start to move backwards, and the top half doesn't seem to be ready for this movement and falls flat on its face. However, there's still an upright about 3 feet worth of person in this trench coat.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk up and pull the trench coat off of whatever's still standing there.
Ah, it's cold! Hi.
And you are?
Throb?
How many of you are in that thing?
And he looks down, and you see the scuffling of 2 other kobolds that are fighting their way out of this heavy winter clothing.
What? Throb? Ah! I got snow in my eyes!
literally 3 kobolds in a trench coat. That's fantastic.
Now, we'll pay you 25 gold each for the Chewinga.
Okay, no, we are not selling the Chewinga to you for any price that you can name. Okay?
All right.
And he's continuing to look back at Carcass, who's just this menacing presence, and yourself as well, Vega, being quite large individuals.
Say, all right. We're all friends here. I guess,
And the other one speaks up and says,
I don't know about you guys, but I'm leaving. Let's leave these guys alone. I couldn't see who we were talking to. Why didn't you guys say something?
and they start to slowly back away, and they're getting the heavy winter clothing up off the ground, and all three of them are shaking it loose of any powdered snow that had fallen onto it. And they said, "Okay, thank you, I guess. We'll see you around."
Sure. Great. Can't wait.
Us either.
And they start to scurry north past you into Fair Koenig, where just about maybe 30 feet away, they say, wait,
Let's do the thing again.
and you see them starting to try to sit on each other's shoulders and position themselves into taking form as a dragonborn.
Oh, that's fantastic.
You gotta admire their spirit.
I suppose.
So, with that being done, that's the only thing that you encounter on your journey. Is there anything anyone would like to do during the time on the road? I think you have about an hour left after that encounter.
Eclipse is going to kind of turn her head so she can look at the Chewinga riding on top of her, and she's going to say, "We're not going to sell you for any amount of money. You're safe with us."
And almost like it's moving to the sound of your voice like music. It seems to rock back and forth, and obviously is very approving of this notion. He does not want to be sold, is what you're gathering.
She'll reach back with her paw and kind of pat it on the head.
He's going to actually try to leap off of your shoulders, and it's going to clutch onto your arm and start like poking at your claws that I assume are retracted. And he's very interested in making them pop out.
She'll slowly extend her claws as to not frighten him so he can look at them.
He's very interested, so then if you were to continue walking, your arm would hang, and the Chewinga would be hanging upside down, just continuously inspecting your claws, and it's very content to continue to do this.
That's fine with me. He can stay there.
The Chewinga makes eye contact with Carcass, and then its eye slits start to squinch down as it recalls that Carcass was the fork thief.
She'll look down at the Chewinga and say, "Yeah, he's an acquired taste."
And he looks back at you and he shakes his head fervently, no. After a while of that, he starts to climb back up onto your shoulders and continues to get the high vantage point that you offer for him.
Alright, I'm good with him just chilling there.
Alright. Doesn't take very long. But you guys make it over to Caer Denival. Just outside of town. You return through the village to see the boarded up inn that is now defunct. You make it through the rest of town, which is probably asleep at the moment, but you see the light shining at the inn at the base of the hill, the uphill climb it was called, and you see the Caer sitting on top of the hill, small fortress.
All right, I'd assume we should head back to the inn to meet our quest giver and show her that we've brought the Chewinga with us.
That was actually in East Haven. This one would be returning to Caer Denival to the Knights of the Black Sword, where the Apante is still remaining to build that lab for Zizix.
Gotcha.
I guess we should just head up to the castle and go on in. I mean, I guess knock.
Yeah, they like us there. They like you.
Alright. You guys make your way up the hill. It doesn't take very long at all. Total journey has been about 2 hours and 30 minutes, so it's, I guess if you had a watch, it would be about 9 o'clock at night or so as sun sets around 4. So you make it up and you knock on the door, and it opens up and you see the prying eyes of one of the guardsmen at the door, and he says, "Ah, you've returned. Welcome, welcome." And he opens the door and you enter the courtyard into the main gates, and inside the building in the Great Hall you find Leah Ponte awaiting your return.
Oh, hello, my dear friends. You have returned from your weary journey.
Yes, that we have.
How was your adventures? Did you face fear and look it directly in the eye?
Didn't you know it?
Sorry, technical issues over here. Just a second.
Okay. One of the guards come by and he says, "Yeah, Zizix, we have your lab set up for you, though it's not really exactly what you would call a lab. It's it'll be workable. It's got a desk and a couple chairs."
Well, what do you mean it's not a lab? I got told I was having a lab.
We worked with what we had, and we only had about 8 hours to put together a lab, so you got 8 hours worth of lab. You don't have any flasks or anything just lying around.
Okay, well,
We gave you a space for a lab.
So then, what's Lamonte been doing?
He's been helping us move furniture.
I, moved some chairs. There is a desk, a table, I believe. It's a pretty sciencey room where you can do your science and your experiments as far as I understand them.
And how far is that?
As far as a few chairs.
I'm gonna step up next to Zizix and say, "Well, how about we go and check out his handiwork?"
Yeah, I think seeing how many chairs he can move, maybe, saying something about his character?
Well, I do want to reiterate, it's not a ton of chairs. It's by no means an impressive amount of chairs, but chairs were moved.
Okay, well, let's go and have a look.
Yes, take them to the room with the chairs.
So you head upstairs.
Leon Ponte is going to tilt towards Carcass and go, "You are not going to believe it. The chairs are simply amazing."
Oh, no, I believe it. You are excellent at things.
Thank you. I moved so many chairs and I don't even get a fucking thank you.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Pointy.
And I will follow them as they approach the room to see my handiwork.
So, you make it up the stairs and you see the open door of this makeshift library, what looks like at a glance, and past it you see this room that has a couple of desks and has 2 stools and 1 4-legged chair with a back.
Wow.
LaPonte, I'm kind of disappointed. You have too many chairs in here.
So I'm an overachiever. I did too much work, is what you're saying.
Yes, because, I mean, when I work, I don't want interruptions.
This makes perfect sense to me. Gentlemen, please remove the two stools and leave him the chair. There's too many chairs.
You may need to cut the legs on that a little bit so I can get up into it.
Oh, and the guard says, "We've thought of that," and he, right next to the chair, under the desk, he pulls out a wooden block that is about 7 or 8 inches tall, and he says, "You should use this as a step stool to get to your chair."
Oh, that's just perfect.
See, we think ahead here. We may not have had flasks or anything to really create a true lab, but we got you a wooden block.
You know, every lair starts somewhere. I mean, thank you.
Leon Ponte is gonna high five the guys that helped.
And they meet your excitement. They give you a high five.
Look down at Zizix and ask, "So you're pleased with this?"
I mean, it's not my old lab, but this will suffice.
All right. Then I turn to LaPonte and tip my hat at him. Good work.
Yeah, I freaking crushed it, man.
For someone who's probably never seen a lab before.
Leon Ponte will lean in towards Lysander and say, to be perfectly frank, I didn't even know this word, lab, so I took a shot. I kind of just made a room.
Did your best.
And Zizix is just gonna like run around the room looking like a kid at Christmas.
All right. So the guard then, makes exit from the room, and he says, "Okay, well, enjoy your lab, and hopefully we can acquire the resources to really flesh this out to what you're expecting."
Zizix is just gonna pipe up and say, but before you go, what's the fire code?
Fire code?
Do you allow open flames?
They are frowned upon, but maybe if we take everything that is wooden out of here, we would be able to, make sure nothing in here burned. All the tapestries, anything on the walls that might be decorative, we can try to make it fire safe. That would mean removing the desk and chairs, though.
I see. I mean, you make a good point. I definitely don't want the same thing that happened last time to happen here.
Wait, what?
Oh, never mind. I'll just don't use fire. And he'll quickly scuttle away to avoid that conversation.
Okay. And you see the guard looks intrigued now as to what happened in your last lab, so he proceeds to continue out of the room and head downstairs. What would you guys like to do now?
That's actually what I was about to ask Zizix. I would turn to him and say, "So, What do you want to make in your new laboratory?
I mean, well, I gotta get some materials first, so maybe we should head back to the lady. She said she was gonna pay us, right?
That's another day's journey, I believe.
Well, I need money to get materials to make stuff.
I'll kind of interject here and say, well, why don't we just get a good night's sleep here, and then we'll head back to East Haven in the morning.
You know, I think that's the smartest thing you've said all day.
Glad to hear it. I value your opinion on intelligence.
Well, everyone needs a friend like me.
Yup.
It's for the company, right?
What'd you say, Matt?
Sure.
For the company.
So, if you guys would like to take up your rooms for the night, we could do that. Or if you guys wanted to do other things, you can go ahead and, lay them out. What do you guys want to do?
What time is it again?
Past sunset, pretty well. It would normally be about 9 or 9 o'clock or so, I think.
Leon Ponte will invite Carcass for a walk, and we are going to merely walk around the area and just sort of take it all in, enjoy the surroundings, see if there's anything interesting or peculiar that we have not found here quite yet.
Okay. So, let's make that an investigation check.
Okay. Uh, 20, not natural.
So, having been here for a while and assisting moving of furniture and such, you you omit the places that are very much uninteresting that you've already seen before, and you head outside. You notice that there's a kennel off to the side in the courtyard. You can hear the sounds of not wolves, but dogs barking as they're about to be fed for dinner for the night. Heading around, you find a side entrance, and going inside, you see the base of these spires that arise. You find a small hatch in one of them.
Carcass, do you see that?
Oh, what?
The small hatch that is in front of us. I'll point to it.
Oh, yes, I see this.
Okay, good. Now, sneaky, grab it and see if you can open it.
Okay, I will do this, but first I want to show you something. And I'm going to hold up my new fork.
Terrific! I'm so proud of you. So the other people, they found a tarwinga and you found a fork?
No, the Chihuahua gave it to me.
As always, my friend, I get the gist of what you are saying, and I'm very happy for you.
Thank you. I'm very happy about this too.
So now that we've kind of talked about the fork, maybe you want to give that hatch a pull?
Okay, I will pull the hatch for you, my best friend.
Okay, go ahead and make a strength check.
That's a 22.
So even though you're pulling with very strong force, you're unable to force this hatch open.
Do I see any sort of a lock or anything that requires a key?
Yes, you do. Absolutely.
I would like to take a look around and see if we are in anyone's eye line.
Okay. Go ahead and make perception checks.
That is a 12.
You don't see anybody, but you do just faintly hear the sound of steps coming up from the stairs that lead up towards the top of this spire.
Hey, Carcass, will you do me a favor?
Of course, I would be happy to do favors.
My friend, do you remember on all those exciting adventures and jobs that we've done when I asked you to stand in a spot and keep a lookout? You remember what to do, no?
Yes, I stand in a spot and I look at things.
And if someone is coming, you say to what do you say to Pointy?
Oh yes, I remember. I turn to you and I say, Pointy, can I kill them now?
Okay, I love the enthusiasm, but how about we just say, Pointy, I think it's this way, and then we will just leave.
Okay, that sounds good too.
With the ever so mindful eye of Carcass watching my back, I would like to attempt to lockpick the locked hatch.
Okay, go ahead and make a dexterity check, and if you are proficient with lockpicking, add your proficiency bonus.
It'll be a 15 after everything.
So you take a full minute to try to work your way into this lock and hit the bumpers and try to turn it when you think you've hit them all correctly, but it's evading you, and you're close. You feel like you're really close, but you're not able to unlock this just yet. Carcass, the lookout, please make a perception check.
That is 17.
I was not expecting that, but you see a man starting to descend the stairs. He looks like one of the guards that you have seen before.
Pointy, can I kill him now?
Very urgently, Leon Ponte will run over to the side of Carcass and begin leading him back the way we came.
Uh-huh.
And as I do this, I will say to him, you know, you can't just shout random words like that have no meaning. You know, we have to say things that we mean, ask questions that have some sort of meaning. And anything you've said in the last 10 seconds, that wasn't anything. I'm saying this very loudly so the guard can hear.
Yeah.
Just, let's just forget the last 10 seconds of anything you said. You're still learning how to speak, no?
Yes, I speak very good.
Leon Ponte will very quickly give him a meat hunk.
And I will take it and shove it down on my new fork and nibble at it.
Very good.
we will continue to head back the way we came.
And the guard is he's gonna call out and say, "Hey, that's not very nice. We accepted you with open arms, and you say to kill us?" I understand he might be having trouble, but what else could he mean?
No, my friend, no. You see, the one known as Carcass is a complex creature from beginning to end. And somewhere in the middle is human interaction. And it gets lost in the weeds. Do you know what I mean?
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Kind of saw that coming. And that would be a 22.
The guard looks at you and looks back at Carcass and he says, okay, I get it. I understand. Just, try not to say those words around friends, Carcass.
I did not know we were friends. Okay, we will not try and open that door anymore then.
Excuse me?
Oh, God.
That door right there.
No, oh boy, fuck. Oh boy. So he is, you know how we previously mentioned, he's getting a little lost with his common speak. We were appreciating the beauty of the entire place that you have provided for us to have safe haven in. And we admired some doors, and we were curious as to what was down there, so we gave them a pull. And then nothing happened, so we came back this way, and then we met you.
I see. Roll deception.
Yep. That would be a 17.
He's gonna look back at you and he's gonna say, "You just said down there, and we're on the bottom floor. I'm gonna need you to step away from that hatch, please."
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's your place, it's your rules. We were simply exploring, and I apologize extensively.
If the time is right and Kadroth deems it necessary, then you shall be permitted to go downstairs. But for now, until you get that clearance from him, the top guy, then you can't do it. Alright?
Leon Ponte will put a hand on his shoulder gently and say, "Thank you, my friend, so much for informing me of the rules and the regulations that deserve respect in such a beautiful place as this. I appreciate you greatly."
What a schmooze.
Excuse me?
That was above table.
Okay. Leon Ponte will very quickly and efficiently try to guide Carcass further back the way that we came.
Yep, and you do just that.
Whenever we're out of earshot, I will turn to Carcass and say, "We are going to get in there. I promise you that."
Yes, I know that you want to go into the door, so we'll make it happen.
And we will continue to just walk around aimlessly and look for interesting corners and nooks and crannies of the beautiful place.
Okay. In the meantime, what are the rest of you up to?
Zizix is going to go back up to the lab, his lab, and he's going to inscribe with his magical tinkering, and on the door is going to flash Zizix Wondrous Works, and the letters are all going to be super kind of like kindergarten school kind of writing, like with some backwards letters in there and stuff like that. it's going to say underneath it as well. It's going to say no one enter.
All right. And this isn't like illusionary script to where like only you can read it. It's quite plain and simple.
Everyone can read it. It's basically it's one of the things of my magical tinkering is I can do static visual effects, including up to 25 words of text.
Okay, cool. That works for me. Let's see. Eclipse and Vega, perhaps Lysander, if it so catches your eye as well. Make a perception check as you guys head back downstairs.
$16.
I got an 11.
Vega? What did you get, friend?
I got a 21.
So you catch a glimpse inside of this makeshift, really unsettled-looking library that's next to Zizix's lab. And you catch the look, and I'm assuming your curiosity would take you into this room for maybe a step. But you get a glance, and you see all these books that are on the shelves. They're either half-burned or totally scorched to where the glues that had bound the books together had seeped onto the pages and completely ruined them.
All of the books?
A majority of these books, yeah. They look to be damaged in some variety.
Oh my god. What a horrible tragedy. This is awful. I'm gonna go see what books I can find that haven't been destroyed among all of it.
Okay, go ahead and roll investigation.
That'd be 15.
Alright, and give me a D100 roll after that.
$92.
Ooh. So, you see that the names of a lot of these books, if you can make out the names, are things that are treasured throughout a lot of libraries, and they're very rare. A lot of these books are just very foreign. A lot of them coming from Cormyr as their origin. But a lot of the books, most of these books are destroyed except for one. And you find this one book that reads Health Tips and How to Maintain a Healthy Body.
Alright. Great. I mean, I guess I'll keep it.
Alright. Eclipse, you would see Vega entering the library as well. Would you follow him in to kind of inspect?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and make your investigation check.
I got an 8.
Yeah, you don't find much different from what Vega was able to find, but you do see some books that span across from where you originate from in your vicinity of your neck of the woods. Some of these are depicting various different Tabaxi clans, and it seems to be written by someone named Volo.
Okay, I'll snag a couple of those.
So they are completely unreadable, but they are just the covers that you're able to discern this information from.
That's okay. I'll take at least one. just so I have it.
Okay. Lysander, what would you like to do with the other two entering this room?
Other two who? I'm sorry?
Vega and Eclipse have entered the library that you were walking past. Is there anything you would like to do in there?
Is there anywhere dry to sit down, or is it just drenched everywhere?
It's not drenched everywhere. It's quite dry. It's other than the quality of the books, it's pretty well kept.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk up to Vega and Eclipse and see their disappointment from the books that were ruined. Ask, are they all like that?
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, it almost looks like somebody burned all of these books, and a lot of them were pretty rare books. It's a damn shame.
That's a damn crime, is what it is. That's really unfortunate. Well, damn.
You do
With
take...
that-
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. You do take in that a lot of the bookshelves that these books are sitting on do show signs of being quite charred, though you notice, like, in the fine details of these burns that there has been quite a bit of dust collecting in them, so it seems like whenever these books were burned, it was burned a long time ago.
Can I go and investigate where the possible source of the fire started?
Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation check.
That's a 21.
Yeah, that's definitely good enough. You're able to triangulate exactly where the point of the damage seems to be most concentrated, and it's towards one of the windows, and almost in a direct line you could put your head down by the burn and you could see directly outside down to a little platform, or not a platform, but a little plateau on the main hill. So you kind of surmise that maybe this library was hit by a flaming arrow some time ago and it just started a chain reaction.
And I can see the window where that arrow possibly came through in.
I mean, the window has been repaired, so if that were to be the case, the window had been repaired since then.
Right, but what direction is the window from where that arrow would have come from?
Oh, I see, yes. That would have been from the, let me check my map here, from the east.
And what do I see outside the window?
Right now, all you see is a lot of snow. You overlook and you see that the courtyard, you can catch a corner of the courtyard before it's walled off by a set of walls, but outside of that set of walls is the rest of the large foothill that this fort stands on.
I see. I'm gonna walk back to Eclipse and Vega, and I'm gonna point out where that arrow had come in, where I believe, I theorize, I believe this fire was started from an arrow that came through that window, landed here, and spread. If I were to hazard a guess.
So this was done on purpose.
Most like.
Well, the castle could have just been under siege and this window happened to get hit too. There's all kinds of possibilities. But either way, it looks like it happened quite a while ago, so the people living here now probably don't even know what happened.
Might be worth looking into. If I run across them guards, or if you do before me, probably wouldn't hurt to ask about that.
Oh yeah, agreed.
Alright. And with that, I'm gonna leave and go and check in on Zizix. Knock on the door of his lab.
Okay. And there's a at the door.
Sam, just real quick, I did send you a DM.
Okay. So Lysander, as you approach the door, you see that the message has changed on this door, and it says Zizix Zontical Zone. Zizix only.
I still am gonna knock on the door.
And Zizix is gonna come, like, open the door just a crack. Can't you read the door?
Yeah.
What are you guys doing next door? You're too rowdy. You need to keep it down a notch. Guys are trying to work around here.
Just checking in on you, see how you're enjoying your new lab.
And if you were to peer inside, all you'd see is a chair in the middle of the room with nothing else going on. I mean, right now I'm just doing a lot of, pondering. I still don't have any materials. I need money.
Well, come tomorrow, we'll be 25 gold richer.
I mean, that's more gold than I've had in a long time. My trinkets don't really sell for that much. I mean,
Yeah.
hell, I'm giving mine away to you.
And the gesture is greatly appreciated.
Well, I mean, I know. I mean, it works both ways. I mean, you're field testing them for me, so. I mean, I appreciate it too.
Yeah.
Let me know if I can improve on them.
No complaints here.
Speaking of, I'm gonna just kind of walk around him and start like banging on his leg with my finger.
Mm-hmm.
How's your body holding up? I mean, with all this cold, are you suffering from shrinkage?
I used to.
Well, I mean, when metal gets cold, it shrinks. But
Correct.
that's right, you're not metal.
Well, it gets a little stiff from time to time, but
That was not helping. That's not helping this.
Let's play how dick jokes can be put into a talk.
well, I appreciate your concern for my shrinkage, but did you have anything in mind that could keep the metal heated while we're out venturing?
Well, I also just remembered that you're not metal.
I look down at my body and my arms and my gears and my legs, and flick my metal head with the ting of my metal fingers. No.
And Zizix will pull out his monocle and just keep kind of looking over him and say, "Yeah, after I've been studying you a little bit better, this is actually a crystalline metal called Chardolin."
Chardolin? What?
Chardolin. C H there's like a D in there somewhere. But it's you're really crystal and the metal. So you have characteristics of both. But it's it's very kind of rare around here.
That's very interesting. I look at my hand and my arm again. Chardolin. Huh. I guess that would make sense that it'd be some kind of mystical metallic property. I can feel everything in it.
Yeah, so I mean I guess that may explain why you don't have as much shrinkage as you would think.
Good to know I can still stand proud in the cold.
Proud of what?
Not being cold or drinking. So
many dick jokes.
Where did you how did you come to find that out?
Oh, I mean, come on, I know everything. It was just one of those things that just kind of escaped me for a minute. I mean, I've had a lot going on in the past. And it's
Are you okay?
let's not talk about that.
Do you need to talk about anything, Zizix? Are you okay?
No. It's okay. How's your how
I don't understand what's up.
let me take a look at your weapon.
Then may I come in?
Is your name Zizix?
Why do you ask questions you already know the answer to?
Can you read?
Know it all. I'm gonna pop the sickle and scratch and Lysander on the door below his name.
Oh no.
And then turn to him after I retract the sickle and say, "Yeah, weapon's working just fine, thanks."
He'll look up at him and he'll say, "You play a good game. Come on in." All right.
So I do, and I close the door behind me.
All right. So you enter Zizix's Zodical. Oh, what did you call it? Remind me, I don't have the Facebook up.
It's Zizix's Zontical Zone, but Zizix is spelled Z, like the plural of Zizix is ZZYZXZZ. So it's Zizix's only.
Oh man. Alright. So you enter into this laboratory and you see the desk is still there. There's no more chair over behind the desk. The chair is sitting in middle of the room. I assume the wooden block is still over by the desk. All the stools had been moved out under the direction of you guys, not liking the specs of how many chairs were in here.
So I'll Zizix will go back and just pull out his little stool so he can get up into his chair.
Mhm.
And motion to Lassan to come closer.
So I do.
I'm sorry, what was that, Nick? You were really quiet.
Oh yeah, I said so I do. I come over.
So then he looks up at you and motions for you to come even closer.
Okay, so I do.
I'm sorry, Nick. I can barely hear you.
Yeah, you got
Is
really
that just
quiet.
me?
That's weird. Hold on.
You might have to turn them up in Discord a little bit.
Is that better?
No, it's about the same. Turn them up a little bit on your Discord, Matt, and then see if that'll fix it.
Yeah. Try again, Nick.
How's that? Any better?
A little bit on my end. I put you up to max, so.
All right, we'll make do.
You guys
So-
are coming through fine.
So at this point, how far is Lassan away from Zizix?
Well,
That'd be for
I
you.
guess that depends. Yeah, I guess that depends on how close you want me to get.
Well, how far away from me are you currently?
Is there a point where you're gonna stop him?
Well, I'm gonna keep motioning until he's about an inch away from me.
Gotcha.
That's fine. I'll keep. Yeah, I'll come to you. I trust you. You've helped repair my body and my weapons in the past, so yeah.
Okay.
I'm not scared of you.
I just didn't know how long I was going to, how many times I was going to have to motion you to get closer to me. Like 10 times. Come closer.
No.
Closer. A little closer.
I'll come right up to you, man.
Okay, then I'm gonna bring my monocle out and grab your arm, I guess, which is where your sickle is, right?
Yeah.
And as I'm looking at it and looking up and down, so what do you want me to do to it?
You wanted to look at it. What I was asking is if you had any idea on how we could keep the metal warm, but if this is a crystalline metal that you say that my body is made of, and it's a rare metal, and I'm not dealing with the contracting cold, then I guess there's really not much to worry about.
So, small correction here. So, Zizix was the one who helped you install this gadget, right? So the replacement parts that he's created on you are metal. The rest of you, however, is Chardolin.
So your sickle would be metal, right? Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, I'll look around the room, and I mean, I don't really have anything here. So, let me think on it, but I may be able to reinforce this so I can go through things a little better.
I like the sound of that.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I thought you would. But, I need some materials first, and it may take a little bit to get that.
Well, we got nothing but time.
Well, I mean, maybe you do, but I mean, I don't. I can only live so long.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know a lot of things.
Oh, I know plenty. I'm still figuring out this body. I don't know if I have a span.
What's the square root of 2?
Why do you ask questions you already know the answer to?
Never mind. I know. So.
What is the square root of
So-
2?
I.
Moving on.
So, anyways, let's make sure that we head out as soon as we can.
I think we're gonna shack up here for the night. I think that would be wise as opposed to traveling in the dark at this hour.
Oh, well, of course, you know. I mean, you you know I don't like scary monsters.
Yeah. I do. I like killing them.
Yes. So, I'm just, you know what? I'll look around the room again.
Mhm.
Does my door have a lock on it?
Yes, it does.
Do I have the key?
No, you don't.
Who would have the key?
That's a good question. And on that note, we're going to jump back to Carcass and Diapante as you guys are continuing to survey around the area. Go ahead and make another investigations check for this new slot of time as you're continuing to explore.
As I make this roll and investigate, I'm going to let Carcass know that, hey, I don't know why I've been thinking about this, but the square root of 2 is like 1.412, I think.
Oh, okay, that sounds right.
My investigation will be a 13, by the way.
So that investigation roll brings you to the upstairs side opposite of where the library is and where Zizix's lab is. And you find a very large door that has a lock on it, and the door seems to be extra reinforced.
I'm going to knock on the door twice.
You knock the door and you hear the voice say, "Not now, Throb! I'm busy!"
It is not Throb. It is Leon Ponte, one of your guests.
Oh, sorry! And quickly after that, opening the door is Kadroth, and you hear the jingle of keys as he starts to rush towards the door, and he opens it. He's like, I'm very sorry. I was a little bit busy, and I always get interrupted by Throv, and it's distracting. I'm sure you can understand.
Yes, of course. And so, yeah, you are Kadroth, yes?
Yes, I am. And he looks a little bewildered, and that's the tiefling that had welcomed you in and was talking to Vega privately.
So, Kadroth, may me and my dear friend Carcass join you for a nightcap?
I suppose I have a extra glass or two.
That would be ever so lovely.
And he invites you inside, and he grabs an extra 2 glasses and says, I hope mead is okay.
Oh, mead is exactly what we were craving.
And goes ahead and pours it out, and he says, yeah, this is probably the last spit of mead in town, as we haven't been receiving their deliveries recently from good mead.
Well, I've always believed that exclusivity is quite an important part in enjoying beverages, no?
That it is. It is indeed. So, what can I do for you?
Well, you know, we are eternally grateful for the housing and for your company, and I was just curious as to learn a bit more about you, you might say. What exactly would you say are your responsibilities here in a somewhat of a summation? Tell me, what is it that truly inspires you? What is it that you do for this town?
Let's go ahead and make a persuasion check on that and see how much information he wants to divulge at this time.
Can do. Six.
Well, I, of course, am the right-hand man to the speaker here in town, and I'm sort of a regent, you would say, as he suffers from an illness while he recovers. And when he recovers, I'll be his right-hand man.
I see. And you enjoy your position, yes?
I do very much. I am able to assist this town that has given us so much.
Yes, it is a generous community for sure. So, the woman who passed away not too long ago, you know, with the ice and the whatnot?
Yes, Hethel.
Surrounding her. Ethel, yes. Were you two close?
Close is not a good word, I would say, to describe it. We were in the same club, and she was a little outspoken, but, you know, she was one of the oldest members here, and that comes with a nice volume of respect.
Yes. She seemed quite worthy of any respect given to her. Were you sad to see her go?
Oh, yes, of course. It's always sad to see a fellow member of the Black Swords go.
Well, my friend, we will not keep you awake any longer. I will propose a cheers for the three of us. And as I do this, I will say to him, thank you for your hospitality, and thank you for everything that you have done for this community. There is no doubt that you have failed in any way, my friend. Do you?
And he's going to raise his glass and knock it to yours and try to knock it to Carcass's. Does Carcass know how to cheers?
No, I'm looking at him very confused. And I just kind of hold the glass down at my side.
After Leon Ponte chugs his, he's gonna try to grab Carcass's, seeing he's not drinking his, and chug his as well.
Yeah, I assume that's fine if Carcass allows him to take the glass from him.
Oh, you can have this, my friend. But I have a question.
Yes.
Cabrat, what do you do with the left hand?
I'm not entirely sure what you mean.
That took me a minute.
You say you are a right-hand man, so what do you do with the other hand?
I would quickly go. I would answer him quickly. He will get very upset.
I use both of my hands. I make it so the speaker only needs to use one, if you can comprehend that.
Oh, so he gets 3 hands?
Yes, it makes his day-to-day very much easier. Can you imagine what you would do with 3 hands?
Yes, I would kill many more people.
And Kadroth is going to look at Leoponte and say, "Muscle, I see."
Leon Ponte will nod at him, confirming his theory about Carcass. And then Leon Ponte will pat Carcass on the arm and say, "Stay and talk with him as long as you please." And Leon Ponte will leave.
Okay. So Kadroth looks to Carcass and says, "So, I don't see very many Minotaur about. Where do you come from?"
Oh, I come from a beautiful island, but I don't remember it being this cold here. I don't know what happened.
You're a long way from home if it was not cold, the islands out here, they're frozen solid.
Oh, where are we now?
We are in the northern realms of the Sword Coast. This town is Caer-Dineval.
Why does the coast need a sword?
That is but the name it was given very long ago. I assume it's because one of the peninsulas might be in a sword shape? Or maybe it was at one time.
Oh, okay. I don't really know what you mean. What is a cincinnati?
A peninsula,
Yes, that's what I said.
of course. That's when a piece of land sticks out into the ocean and surrounded by multiple sides.
Oh, so when I swim in the ocean, I am a cincinnati. Yes.
Well, you're 3/4 of the way right. If you were to be a peninsula, you would still be on land, yet surrounded by water.
I'm on land right now.
Are you currently surrounded by water?
I don't think so.
Well, my friend, I don't think you would be a peninsula then.
Oh. Okay. So, how do I get back to where you said I need to go?
Well, I think for tonight, you can go back to your room, which is just down the stairs and to the left.
Okay, but how do I get back home?
I would say you would have to travel south, but let me preface this by saying that we cannot move south because this winter that seems to be unrelenting is trapping us all up here. We haven't had caravan or message sent from the south in a few years.
I don't know if I am from the south.
Well, I would say try to find someone who knows where you're from.
I know where I'm from.
Yes, of course you do.
Yes. You sound very smart. Maybe you know where I am from.
Well, what did they call the land that you're from?
Yes. I am from a beautiful island called Kothas.
I'm not familiar with that island. I don't think
Oh.
I've ever heard of it.
Yes, it has many of my friends there, but I have not seen them in a little while.
Riddle me this. When the sun would rise, was it on the east side of your island, or was it on the west?
I don't know. It only rose in the morning.
Very good. Would you like another drink?
No, I don't think I am thirsty.
Okay, well, maybe you're a little sleepy.
Yes, it has been a long day of not killing people.
Well, that could be a good thing.
Yes, it could be.
Well, I've told you where your room is. Do you remember?
Of course. I always remember things people tell me. You said it is downstairs and out the door.
That's not quite correct. Turn left when you get to the stairs, and maybe call out for your friend for help.
Okay, I will do that.
And he gestures his arm out, and he says, "Have a good night, Carcass."
You have a good night too, Cabrat.
It's Kadroth.
Yes, that's what I said. Cabrat. And I'm going to exit his room and get to the top of the stairs and turn to the left and yell for Pointy. Pointy! He said I need to yell for you.
Do I hear this?
Absolutely.
The rooms are over here, Carcass. This way, follow my voice. Remember our conversations about sometimes when you hear sounds, you need to move near them?
Yes, I remember you just saying that to me now.
So do it. Follow my voice, my friend.
Okay, I will follow your voice. And I
like how
will
it's
try
the
my
middle
best
of the night
to
when
follow
you
his
shout it.
voice.
Sorry, what was that?
Sorry, I was saying I like how it's the middle of the night and Carcass and Leo both are just screaming about finding a room.
Yes, I will do my best to follow his voice.
Okay, go ahead and make perception check.
That's a -2.
You find yourself walking back up the stairs, and you find yourself in front of a very well-enforced door.
I will knock on the door and yell.
And Kadroth, recognizing the voice, will say, "Yes, Carcass," and he opens the door, and you see Kadroth is in front of you.
point, he said to follow his voice and I would get where I needed to go. But I am back here with you.
And Kadroth is gonna look down. He says, I know. I heard him too. Let me show you. And he's gonna take you by the hand and walk you downstairs. And then he's going to take you in front of the room and he's gonna knock twice.
And as he knocks, I will yell, hello? Is anyone in the room?
I'm sorry, you broke up. Did you say they were at my room?
Yes.
Then yes, I will open the door.
And you see Kadroth with Carcass in tow, held by the hand, and he says, here's your friend. He got lost and wound up back at my door.
With an apologetic nod, I will say, I am so sorry that he came back. Carcass, would you like to come in and rest your weary head? I know it must have been a long day for you without spilling any blood.
Oh, yes, it's been a very long day. I would like to come in and go to bed. Thank you very much. And thank you, Cabrat. Carcass is me.
That is correct. But my name is Kadroth.
Leopold will look at Kadroth and say, good night, Cabrat, and close the door, and then rub Carcass's shoulder as he helps him to bed.
As you shut the door, you hear just a grimace from the other side of the door as you then hear loud footsteps coming back up. Which brings us to the other half of the party, who are upstairs between the library and inside of Zizix's laboratory.
Sam, if you're gonna save my lab, please use the correct name.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that the door to your laboratory was a Gavalarian.
Oh.
It's not.
The door labeled Zizix's Zontical Zone, Zizix only, and Lysander.
Perfect. It's just the little things, you know?
Yeah, just the tiny things. Not a short joke, by the way.
I was getting a short joke, but
So, you guys hear this commotion. You hear Leoponte calling out for Carcass, and then you hear a loud discussion happening downstairs. As you guys emerge from the library, you see Kadroth storming back upstairs with the loud jingling of keys on his person, and he abruptly goes back into his bedchamber and shuts the door, and loud enough for you two inside of the laboratory to hear this as well.
That sounded intense.
I'm just gonna roll my eyes and say, I hope these idiots don't ruin the good thing we got going here.
Yeah. I can see how you'd feel that way.
This conversation would be taking place outside of the laboratory, I assume, as it's only allowing Zizix and Lysander inside. Just so we're all on the same page.
Right, yes. I did not the lab.
Yeah, I think we would have come out to investigate all the yelling and such. So, anyway, I guess he's turning in for the night. What are you two gonna do?
I mean, I think we should do the same.
Buddy about what may have happened in this library, but unless I happen to see a guard on my way back to bed, I don't think I'm going to worry about it at the moment.
And you would see a guard in the Great Hall, kind of just holding post. So on the way you would.
Well, I guess I'd walk up to him and say, excuse me there, friend. Do you have any idea what happened with that library over there?
Actually, I haven't the faintest idea. I've only been here for a few weeks now, and that's always been burned, but nobody's made mention of any burnings recently. Most of us have only been here for maybe a month at the maximum.
Okay, yeah, it looks like it happened quite a while ago. I just didn't know if you would happen to have heard anything about it.
I'm sorry, sorry to disappoint you.
Oh no, it's okay. I thought the chances were pretty slim. I just thought I'd check. Is there, by any chance, another library in here that is not destroyed?
I apologize to disappoint you again, Vega, but that is the only one. The only thing that's remotely close to that would be Avarice's work study downstairs. But we dare not disturb her.
Oh, why is that?
She is very particular to her quiet.
Does she ever mingle amongst everyone else?
No. She keeps a very distanced relationship with all of us, except for maybe Kadroth. They'll converse from time to time and on pleasant terms. She wants the solitude of down below, and we're happy to give it.
I see. I may have to see if Kadroth could introduce me.
We might be able to make that happen, come morning, possibly.
Alright, well, I will talk to him then.
Alright. What would you guys like to do now?
I would like to write down her name. Can you repeat that for me?
That is Avarice, which, without having it in front of me... There it is. Avarice.
Ava Rice, got it.
Avarice, yes.
Okay, well, I'll go to bed.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn to Zizix and ask, was there anything else you wanted to do tonight?
Oh,
I'm sorry, Nick, you caught up on me.
I turn to Zizix and ask, is there anything else you wanted to do tonight?
I mean, no, not really. I do want to ask about the key, but we can ask on the way out in the morning.
Yeah, I think that would be wise. I do want to continue this conversation about this metal that my body is grafted of.
Well,
Wait.
like you said, we got time.
If you need rest, you may rest.
Thank you for that permission.
You're very welcome, friend. So I'm going to, on that note, I'm gonna go back to my room from the night before, and I'm going to write down the day's events in my journal and step into my sentry sleep.
Okay. I'm assuming same pairings for rooms. Vega would be heading in with Carcass and Leoponte, and then Zizix, Eclipse, and Lysander in one room.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. Is there anything you guys would like to do before you sleep as the last call?
Leon Ponte is crashing hard.
Okay.
Eclipse would like to take a blanket from her bed and make a little nest for the Chewinga to sleep in.
And the Chewinga is happy to do so. And it seems to be it gets bored of the bed at first, and it starts to walk around and grab the blanket and pull it over its head, and it's acting like it's wearing heavy winter clothing like you, and starts waddling around the room and making like little vibrations like it's shivering. And
Eclipse is gonna laugh very heartily at that and say, yes, that's how we look and feel.
then the Chewinga is going to walk over to Zizix, and he's going to try to throw the blanket over on top of Zizix.
Does he succeed?
What's your AC?
19.
No, he does not.
That's right, bitches.
And the Chewinga looks very sad that it could not cover you in this blanket. It starts to pick the blanket up off the floor, and it starts to waddle back over to Eclipse over on her side of the room.
I'm absolutely picturing the Charlie Brown sad walk away. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Eclipse is gonna frown and say to Zizix, oh, let him have some fun. He's just trying to be friends.
I mean, it's not like I dodged it.
And he's gonna then look around the room, and he sees Lysander sitting down in the corner, and his eyes get big, and he waddles back over to Lysander, and he throws the blanket over him. That one is probably going to hit with a 18.
Yeah.
And it puts the blanket over you, and then it starts, it covers your whole face to where you can't really see or observe anymore. And then it starts to pull the blanket back behind you, and then it makes a little cloak for you, and then it tucks you in and starts clapping its hands after it's done so, and then is going to see if you do anything to resist or anything like that.
Nah, go ahead and let it carry out its activity here, and just observe it.
And it's going to grab your arm, and it's struggling real hard to be able to move it into place. So it's going to put your hand over where the two blankets would be close together, and then it's going to try and make your fingers close and stay there. And it's going to grab your other hand and put it inside of the cloak to kind of like create the grasp on the inside of it, like you're tightly wrapped up in this blanket. And it steps back and looks at Eclipse and is kind of looking like it's trying to seek your approval.
Eclipse is gonna nod, and she's gonna clap a few times and go, "Well done." He looks very comfortable.
And the Chewinga's gonna clap its hands excitedly, do a little spin 360, and then it's gonna try and take the blanket back. And with that strength check, it's not gonna be able to get it unpinned from Lysander, who's up against the wall.
I will, I'll take the cloak off and hold out to the Chewinga and ask, "I'm sorry, did you need this back?"
It nods excitedly.
Why? Let it take it.
Alright. And it waddles back over to the side of the room where the bed was made originally, and it folds itself up into a Chewinga burrito.
That shit's adorable.
Chewinga burrito, is that one of the things that Taco Bell just took off of their menu?
It is, and to the outrage of many, it's soon following the... the Baja Blast is leaving too, from what I've heard. Hashtag save Baja Blast.
Fucking bullshit.
Let's get that trending.
Are you serious?
That was the rumor. I mean, that could be misinformation, but I mean, they took off a lot of things, so.
Real Taco Bell's fucking themselves right now.
Yeah.
But that's neither here. Oh, all caps with the save for the Chewinga Chonga. Oh, all right.
Well done.
That is fantastic.
Well done.
That is very good. Stealing that name, by the way. So, anything else going on in that room before we switch over to the opposite room?
Nope, just going to bed.
All right. And Leoponte is deep into his sheets and snoozing a nice slumber. What of Vega and Carcass?
Sleeping.
All right, Carcass.
I'm going to chew on my empty fork for a little while, and then I will go to bed.
All right, good enough for me. And at this point, we're going to go ahead and take our break. It's early morning. The Great Hall seems to be a little busier than usual. It looks like they just got done with their little powwow that they hold early in the morning. Kadroth is absent from this, but you see Throv is a big, bulky human, and he seems to be giving assignments to everybody, and he looks very happy about it. And after breaking, you kind of catch them dispersing amongst the castle themselves. What would you guys like to do?
Zizix is gonna make it a mission to go find someone to give him a key for the lab.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
It'd be 20 not that.
Yeah, so with your intuition, you figured the best place to start would be finding Kadroth. And you're able to catch him eating breakfast downstairs in the dining room.
Good morning, Kadroth.
Ah, yes, Zizix. Good morning.
Hi.
How can I help?
Well, I really appreciate that really nice lab that you guys have put aside for me. And I was just wanting, for security reasons, if I could have the key to it.
Ah, yes, I see.
Or just a copy.
Well, I don't have any copies on hand, but perhaps on your return we can take care of that?
Well, I mean, there's some really important stuff in there. And I just hate for someone to maybe take something.
I see. I completely understand. Let's go ahead and lock it, and then while you're gone, it will remain locked.
Okay, so when I come back though, will you be here to unlock it, or do I need to ask somebody else?
I will be here to unlock it, and hopefully by that time, given I have enough time, I will have a copy for you.
Okay, I mean, I guess that works.
Very good.
Just really make sure to have some security on there. Like you may need like 4 guards.
4. That's about 20% of our garrison here.
Well, there's some really important stuff in there.
I understand. Shall we station a guard inside in case anyone tries to come in through that window?
Probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
Okay. I'll have my top man do it.
Is his name Zizix?
No, your name is Zizix.
Right. What about Lysander?
I can't say that his name's Lysander either.
Okay, well, I mean, the lab's only allowed with Zizix's and Lysanders. So, I mean, you can add him to the list. You just need to know his name.
You can add Throff to the list if you'd like.
Well, there's already one extra person that I prefer. But I guess... Is that Croft?
Throv. Throv.
You said Croft?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You can add him to the list.
Okay, very well. I'll have him stand guard for, what would you say, during the daytime or during the nighttime?
Oh, all times.
At all times.
He's not allowed to leave.
I don't think we can feasibly make that happen. You would be a prisoner.
Well, I mean, if you do a rotational guard, then that's more names I gotta put on the list.
Well, I can't say that I'm gonna put my men confined into some laboratory that has but only a few things in them, though particularly valuable. I can't commit him to stay there 24 hours. You might just have to add them to the list. Why don't you just add the whole rotation to the list and we can be sure, 100% and guarantee that someone will be there at all times.
How many guys is that?
20.
There's not enough space on the door.
Not with that attitude.
I like the cut of your jib.
Have you thought about writing on the back door?
I mean, of course I did. What do you think I am? A guy that doesn't think about that doors have two sides?
Of course not. You are strikingly observant, and I'm sure you would be able to come to that conclusion on your own. However, I decided that I said it first, so I take full credit for this.
I mean, you can say you're a fish. It doesn't make it true.
But I have not said that I'm a fish. Have you?
No, because I'm not a fish.
And that is that. I'm sorry, I thought I heard the pastry lady coming around.
Yes. Yes.
Everyone on the stream is like, what the hell are they talking about right now?
Maybe for another time. But
Yeah.
continuing on.
They will get out. Campaign is over.
Okay, I'll put them on the door. You're just gonna have to tell me all their names.
I will provide you a list. And he snaps his fingers and he motions to Throv and says, fetch my ledger from the office, won't you? And hands him his keys.
Can I, as he's handing the keys, try and speculate how many keys are on the chain and kind of maybe memorize the shapes?
Okay, for that, go ahead and give me an intelligence check for the numbers, and then we'll make that a separate check for memorizing the shapes.
So an int check, you said,
Yeah, straight intelligence.
with no modifiers.
Your intelligence modifier.
Okay, that would be a 21.
You count 15 different rings. Keys on the ring.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and make... I'm going to give you disadvantage on this roll because you cannot see all of them. They're kind of like side by side and kind of obscuring one another.
My first roll would have been a 25. Sorry, a 24, but it was a 10.
You can probably remember 3 of them.
Okay. And when we go to lock the door, I'll take note of which key, if possible, and if it was one of the ones that I kind of could remember the shape of.
Okay. Easy enough. And Kudroth says, now, is there anything else I can help you with?
No, you've been very hospitable.
I try my best.
Well, if you ever need any... what is it I do again? Oh, yeah. If you need any trinkets, or, like some zazzles, or sprinkles, then you just let me know.
Sprinkles?
Just like a sprazzle.
I have no idea what that means.
Well, I mean, I can't help that. It's just, work talk.
I see. Well, could you define it for me?
Well, it's not quite a zizzle. and not quite a sprazzle. You know, it's kind of in between.
I can't say that I understand, but I will nod. And he nods silently.
So yeah, see, you get it.
I sure do. I will not be requiring any of those, I would think.
You know, that's what they all say, but us Lysander over there, you know, sometimes they save his life.
If I am in need of sprizzles or sprazzles or sprinkles, I will go ahead and ask.
Don't forget the zizzles.
I forgot them already.
And Zizix is just gonna kind of wander off, I guess, with Throv.
Cue the sitcom. Aww. But yeah, he'll wander off and go with Throv, and he opens up the door to Kadroth's office and opens up his drawer that has the ledger inside, both requiring keys to get into the room and into the ledger, into the drawer with the ledger. And he says, okay, I guess I gotta give this thing to you.
Yeah, I gotta know so I can do my work.
What, you said names, right? He said, you wanted the names?
Yeah. Cause, you know, there's only certain people allowed in that room, and because you're having a rotational guard system, you know, I gotta add everyone to make sure that, I mean, to put it bluntly, make sure they don't die.
I see. That's important, I guess. Or else we just have a bunch of ice cubes in here, and we'll need someone at least left for recruitment. So, and he starts opening up the ledger, and he starts looking through. He says, bills, diary, bills.
Bills?
Payroll.
Isn't he like the lord of this place?
Oh, Kadroth? No, he's not the Lord. He's the right-hand man to the speaker.
What? I thought he had the right hand.
Well, he has a right hand, yes, but it is to assist the right hand of the speaker. He comes and he takes care of the town and signs in legislature.
So, if there's so many right hands, what happened to all the left ones?
They were left out.
That's a beat, do you?
Never.
Oh, God.
Well, I mean, if you don't need them, you don't need them.
Everyone always talks about the right hand, and, you know, I think there's a reason for that.
It's the one that gets used the most, right?
I think a majority of people are right-handed, so I would say yes.
Or you could be one of those weird ones.
Those are devil worshippers. Wait.
Yep, that escalated quickly.
Yeah, we don't like those kind.
Anyway, and he just rips the page out of the out of the ledger and he says, "Here's a list. Just give it back when you're done."
Do you?
Yeah. To me. I have the book.
Alrighty.
Or Lefty.
No, those are devil worshippers. Remember?
How could I forget? Yes.
Okay, well, see you later.
Goodbye now. And he walks back down the stairs back to I'm sorry. Yeah. He walks back into Kadroth's office, puts the ledger back, and exits the room and locks it behind him, and he returns to give the keys to Kadroth.
Okay, as I'm walking back to the lab, I'll just kind of memorize all the names as I'm walking. Do I notice like anything of really important note on the paper?
You see how much they're getting paid for their weekly wages, and it's not a whole lot, but considering room and board is essentially paid for, it's survivable.
I wonder if they need a guard here. Anyway,
so he'll, as he gets to the door, he'll just inscribe all the extra names on there. So, because there is, you said 20 gods, Zizek's Zonical Zone, Zizek's only, which is 5 words. 20 gods is 25 words, which is the max that I can have on there. And with Lysander scratching his name in there, every single name should fit on the door.
Okay, very nice. It all worked out. So, returning back to the rest of you, what would you like to do during that time?
Well, I would also like to find Kadrath, so I guess I'll make my way to him after Zizix is done talking to him.
Leon Pontaine this time would like to pull Vega aside before he leaves and ask him to direct him to the library, if possible.
The library, it appears, was pretty much destroyed in a fire. At least all the books. It looks like it was quite a while ago, but there's no salvageable books in there. They're all completely burned.
Could you still point me in the direction, perchance?
I suppose. Can I ask why?
I still have never seen it.
Fair enough. I can understand appreciating a good library, destroyed or not. It's right over by Zizix's lab, and I'll point that way.
Thank you kindly. Leon Ponte is just gonna go and kind of look around the wreckage, not looking for anything in particular yet, but he would just kind of like to examine the area a bit just for his own peace of mind while the others do their thing.
Okay. Very good. And Vega, you would make your way back and go ahead and go to talk to Kadroth. What about Lysander, Carcass, and Eclipse?
Eclipse is going to go to Z6's lab.
Okay.
Is he outside still inscribing names, or has he gone inside at this point?
I believe that's where he would be, is inscribing those names.
He's gonna walk up to him with, I'm assuming the Chewinga is
yes,
with...
of course.
Cool. She's gonna walk up to him, Chewinga in tow, and kind of marvel at how many names are now on the door. And she goes, "You got room for 2 more?"
I'm sorry, there's a limitation on how many names I can add. And fortunately, if your name's not on the door, there's some security measures in place. And not exactly like, even though we're not on the best of terms, I still don't want you to die, so I would probably not go in there.
How are the names being put on the door? Are they just like in a stray list, or are they literally filling the entire door?
I mean, Sam, would it be both sides of the door that would be needed for it? I guess. I mean,
No, not really. It just depends on how tiny you're making your inscription.
I guess I would just make it big enough that all the names would reach the very bottom of the door, I guess.
Yeah, and that's doable.
Sorry guys, there was a weird screeching noise coming from the backyard.
Oh. We need to come back to you guys?
Yes.
Okay. Is Billy going too?
Yes, we all are.
Okay. So that leaves Carcass.
Yes, since they are going, I would like to go downstairs or upstairs, wherever I smell food from, and I will hold out my new fork and just randomly yell to people, "Where is the food?"
Okay. So you'll go ahead and start using your nose, so go ahead and give me a perception check.
That's good because I am really good at the perceptions. That is a 7.
You actually find your way to the kitchen because of sheer luck, and the cook had heard you calling out for the food, and he says, breakfast is about ready if you would like to get a sample.
Yes, that's why I have my fork out. I would like food, please.
Would you like a plate?
No, the fork is fine.
And as you're sitting there waiting for the food to be placed onto the fork, you notice that there are in the corner of the kitchen 2 goats that kind of are secluded off in a small pen. And he comes back momentarily and he says, "Okay, I hope you don't mind that I've touched this or anything." And he puts a full fillet of knucklehead trout drizzled with goat cheese on top of it and places it so it's evenly distributed in weight so it won't slump to either side.
No, I don't mind if you touch my food. I mean, I'm just going to eat it. Matt, can I ask you a question?
Of course. What would you like to know?
Why do you have the goats in the kitchen?
Well, the goats are what make this stuff, as he points out the cheese on top of the knucklehead trout fillet.
Oh, I did not know that fish came from goats.
No. And he pulls a piece of the cheese off of the fillet and he says, "This stuff."
Oh, so you don't eat the goat?
If we eat the goat, then we can't have any more of this.
I will lean in closer to him and say, "Which one tastes better?"
The cheese tastes better than the knucklehead trout.
Oh, okay. Then I will happily eat the cheese. I will start to pull the cheese off of the trout and just shovel it into my face as fast as I can.
Absolutely.
And while I am doing that, I will just ask him, do you have more of the cheese?
He says, sure. And he goes into what looks like a pantry, and he pulls out this large wheel of goat cheese, and he begins to take a knife and cut off just a slice of this, and it's very soft. And just you see the indentation with the knife going into it, and he says, are you going to only eat this and not your knucklehead trout?
Yes, you said it was better, and I will put my hand around the trout and then drop it back in with any other trouts that are there. And I will walk over, and where he has cut me a nice slice off of this wheel, I will take the rest of the wheel and tuck it under my arm.
Wait. I have this one for you. And he holds you the slice of cheese.
Yes, that's nice. And I kind of look down at myself. I said, but I'm very big.
Yes, and that wheel of cheese will feed many people, and including yourself, the more you stay here.
Okay, I will let them eat off of it.
Well, I must use it to cook. You understand?
Oh, yes, I understand. You have that piece. Thank you, and then I'm just going to turn around and start walking away.
And him not being in a position to really try to boss around a Minotaur will allow you to go ahead and walk out with the whole wheel of cheese.
Yes, and I will just start eating on it, straight from the wheel without slicing it off.
Okay. Are you guys all back over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a raccoon that was just shrieking.
Oh boy. Afraid of the dog, maybe?
No, the dog wasn't outside. It was under the back, and Billy and I went out there, and it took off through the yard, and then it ran around the house, and we heard it out front, and I went out there and saw it climbing up the side of the house and onto the roof. Yeah, it was weird.
All right. So, we'll go ahead and go back to Zizix and Eclipse speaking in front of his library.
Eclipse is going to stroke her chin in thought, and she's going to look down at wherever the Chewinga is currently.
Running around your feet.
Cool. She's gonna ask the Chewinga, you wanna go inside, don't you?
And he is going to look at the door, and he's going to look back at you and shake his head emphatically no.
Okay, then I guess we will not be going inside.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's probably the smartest idea.
And
he kind of roll off very, very nervously.
The Chewinga is going to go up to the door and look back at Eclipse and point at the names, and then point at himself and say no. And he's going to make a gesture with his hand where his hands are flat, and then they expand to make a circular shape to kind of simulate what an explosion might look like.
Eclipse is going to nod. She says, yes, we need to put our names on the door first if we want to go in. But I don't know your name.
And he kind of looks side to side and he kind of shrugs.
Oh. She asks, you were never given a name?
He shakes his head no.
Ooh. No, we're not naming it that. She's going to ask the Chewinga, would you like me to name you?
And he looks at you, and then he looks at Zizix, and then he points at Zizix.
What?
Oh. I guess that's your honor, Zizix. Please don't make it something stupid.
Oh, that'll never happen. But I do need to tell the risks. If I give him a name that's not his true name, and I put that name on the door, and it's not his true name, it still doesn't work like that.
Well, he doesn't have one, so you can just name him.
I don't know. This is unknown grounds here. I gotta be honest. Like, I'm pretty confident in my abilities, but things happen.
Well, he obviously trusts you to do it, so.
Yes, and I mean, he rightfully so. You know, he's picked the smartest guy around here, so he knows I'll make the right decision. But you know, it's not something to be taken lightly. So I'll need to ponder.
I see. And with that, she's going to take a claw and, in very small letters, wherever it will fit, she's going to inscribe her name on the door.
As she's doing it, Zizix is gonna be yelling and screaming, "No! No, you're gonna ruin it all!"
Like, it's there. Now I can go.
25 names is the max!
Because of what?
Okay, you know this thing called magic, right?
Sure.
Well, it's not a perfect science.
Okay.
All I'm saying is I take no responsibility for what happened to you.
Thanks.
All right. And with that, the Chewinga is going to return back to Eclipse and patiently wait for Zizix to come up with a name. And that will bring us to Gidroth and Vega.
Alright, I will make my way over to him. And say, hey there, friend, I had a question for you.
Ah, yes, excuse me, I was just finishing my breakfast, which should be ready for you all in a short manner. What can I do for you?
First of all, I was wondering if you had any idea what had happened to the library here.
You know, I can't say that I know. I would have to ask the speaker for that information.
How often is the speaker around?
Oh, he is quite ill, and we keep him in bed to preserve his health, but we have him make special appearances when traditional treaties and the like need to be signed. So, he's here, and he is reachable.
I see. Interesting. Follow-up question. I was talking to one of the guards about the library and everything, and he said really the closest thing to a functional, not destroyed library that's here would be the study areas of Avarice, who I have yet to meet. And I was wondering if there was any possibility of an introduction.
Ah, yes, I see. I try to let Avarice have her space. I know she's quite keen on that. But I will let her know that you are here, and I can have her come up.
Yeah, I would appreciate that if she's up for it.
Sure. I will go retrieve her after breakfast.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Alright. So, shortly after this, the chef emerges from the kitchen and starts ringing a little triangle and says, "Breakfast is ready," and everyone gets served breakfast if they come down to receive it.
Yes, I will be coming down.
I will make my way from the library to eat some breakfast.
Zizix is gonna go look for a god to stand guard of his lab.
Yeah, easy enough. They'll just stand outside the door.
And he's gonna scratch Eclipse's name off the door and tell the god, "Do not let anybody else touch this door."
Alright. And you will nod in agreement and stand post.
Thank you, sir. And I'll salute him.
And he will just nod back at you as he, they don't salute around here, you've noticed.
Okay.
So, everyone arrives at the breakfast table, and you get your fillets of knucklehead trout sent your way. Zizix, make a perception check.
Yes, 10.
Was that a 10 you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, you all dig in and start eating, and Zizix, you start to notice that your food had a hair in it. A brown-colored hair.
I'm going to pick it up and examine it.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and roll investigation for that.
That's a 12.
You can tell it's brown and likely from an animal of some sort.
I'm going to just pull it out of my food and just throw my hand straight up in the air and say, "Whose hair is this?"
It's mine.
Who said that?
Yes.
Nobody speaks up, and the chef is saying, "Well, it is not mine. I have black hair."
What about the other cooks?
It is only me back there.
Can I roll insight?
Sure. Yeah, you feel he's telling the truth?
Can I scan the room to see if there is a very large minotaur missing?
Yeah, you'll notice that Carcass is, I don't think you're too far off from, where the kitchen would be, right, Carcass?
No, if they yelled for us to come eat, I would come into the room to eat as well.
So yeah, you'd see Carcass, at the table with a whole wheel of cheese in his arms.
would I be able to determine if the length of hair would be equivalent to him?
Yeah, in
Like,
your investigation, I would give you that.
Carcass?
Oh, yes.
Have you been touching or preparing food?
No, I did not make any food. I just got the wheel of cheese.
So how'd your hair end up in my food?
Oh, I don't know if that is mine, but are you going to eat that?
I mean, no.
Okay, I will take it.
Can I trade you for the cheese? Or at least a hunk?
No, this. Oh, you can have a bite, and I will shove it out so he can take a big bite of it.
And I'll look at the wheel of cheese for a place that he has not bitten out of, because I'm sure that there is a lot of hunks and just drool all over this.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's probably good.
Yeah.
There is no rhyme or reason for my biting.
You will be able to find one, though. He has not bitten all of it.
I will very slowly lean towards the cheese while continuing eye contact with him, and then take a very, very small, slow bite of it, and then pull away.
All right.
And I will get the giant smile on my face. I'll say, was that cheese really good?
I mean, it's better than the hair.
Yes, it is better than hair. But, do you want the hair?
No.
Okay, I will take the hair.
You know what? You know what I really want?
What? No, what do you want?
I would really, really like a glass of chocolate milk.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that is.
Well, it's chocolate and it's milk put together.
That sounds good, I guess. I don't know. I have a block of cheese.
Yeah, I don't think you'd want a chocolate cheese.
Leon Ponte this entire time is fighting his ass off not to laugh out loud at watching Zizix try to figure out how to communicate with Marcus.
Maybe if you tell them, hey, there is a hair in my food, they will give you chocolate milk.
Well, I've already asked them if they had any yesterday. Apparently it's just one of those things that aren't very popular around here.
Do you want me to go into the kitchen and ask the chef? I met him earlier.
And Zizix will just kind of shyly look up at him with like puppy dog eyes and just nod his head slowly.
Okay, I will do this for you because we are friends.
And I'll give him the biggest smile.
Now, I am going to take out my great axe
Okay.
and march towards the kitchen and butt the door open with my head.
Okay.
And I'm going to yell to him, do you have chocolate?
And you are going to surprise the chef, who is mortally afraid of you right now, and say, "No, we don't have any chocolate."
Where is the chocolate?
I don't have any. I don't know where you can get it around here. You might have to go south to where this winter isn't really affecting the ability to grow crops.
Okay. And I'm going to leave the kitchen.
Okay.
I will go back to my new good friend, Styx. And I will tell him, Styx, I have news about your chocolate milk.
And I will just look at him, like, hopefully, with lots of the worldly dreams in his eyes beaming back at him.
I will look down at my new good friend and say, wait, what were we talking about?
My expression will just drop. And realize just the kind of conversation that he was having with him, and turn back to the table and look for some fruit to eat.
Never mind. I appreciate the effort.
Okay, anything for you, my friend. Everyone, this is my friend Styx.
Zizix will just wave his hand around just without, acknowledging anyone else in the room. Just
Leon Ponte will clap awkwardly as everyone else is silent, I assume.
Yes. He had a hair in his food.
Leon Ponte will clap one more time, confusingly.
And then I will just go sit down and continue eating my cheese.
Okay.
Leon Ponte will make his way to Lysander and Vega and the Eclipse of the Moon. And I will say to my friends, I do believe we should be departing before too long.
I agree.
So what say we stuff the delicious food into our bellies and we leave this beautiful place and begin our next journey? No?
Well, Kadrath was going to introduce me to Avarice after breakfast, but I suppose I could tell him to postpone that until we return, if we do.
The curiosity about our successful mission and the rewards that come with it are eating away at me, as they say.
I gotta say, I'm with Leoponte here. I need some gold so I can make stuff.
Okay.
Sure, y'all shooting. I'm ready to go.
All right. So everyone finishes their food that's in front of them. Carcass leaves the building with half of a wheel of cheese, and you guys head your way downhill past the tavern and the empty inn that's towards the middle of town, and start to head back south and make your way to East Haven.
I would make sure to let Kadrath know before we left to go ahead and...
That's that's fine. So, who is leading the way and who's manning up the rear?
I'll take post in the rear again.
I guess I'll lead again.
Okay, go ahead and make a survival check.
Yeah, 13.
Yeah, you do a fine job following the trail. It's a lot easier than it was yesterday, as people have come in from town and left from town, and very easy to keep track of this point. However, you do spot in the broad daylight a group of 6 individuals heading your direction, and they again notice the Chewinga that is riding on the shoulders of Eclipse in its normal positioning, and says, "Is that one of them Chewingas?"
Yes, it is.
Oh, I see. Why do you have one?
We were asked to find one for a quest we were given.
And what are you planning on doing with it?
Considering it's its own free being, it can choose whatever it wants to do after we're done.
No. You need to know how to use a Chewinga. Let me show you. And he starts to reach his hand out to grab the Chewinga, and the Chewinga grabs tightly on your cloak.
Eclipse is gonna smack his hand away and say, "I suggest you keep your hands to yourself, sir."
And as quickly as his hand gets smacked away, a dagger gets pulled out and says, "Use that hand again and you won't use it the next time."
I'm immediately
Hey is going to draw his short sword and gesture Carcass to take a few steps forward to stand in front of him.
I'm gonna pop my sickle and stand up as well. Stand forward.
And I would like everybody at this time to roll initiative.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, 1 second as I get all this prepared. All right, Carcass.
I have a 20.
All right, Eclipse.
14.
You cut out 14. Is that right?
Yes.
Zizix.
8.
Yeah, Ponte.
That would be a 6.
6. Lysander.
Nat 20 plus 3.
23. Vega.
5.
Okay. So we will start with Lysander.
Alright, and how many of them do we have here, or is it just the one guy?
There are 6 of them.
Okay, I'm gonna walk up to the one that threatened Eclipse and go at him with my sickle.
Okay, go ahead and roll to attack.
That is a 17.
That will hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
That will be 5 slashing damage.
5 slashing damage. Alright. Anything else?
Yeah, I would like to bonus action unarmed strike.
Okay.
Try to grapple him.
You can't use a bonus action to grapple.
Well, okay. Well, then I'll just pummel the shit out of him. That was a 17 again.
That'll hit.
So yeah, just 5 damage, 5 bludgeoning.
Okay, he is not looking good whatsoever. And then we will move on to Carcass.
Okay. So, I like that there are very many people to kill. So, first, I would like to rage.
Okay.
And then I will run towards one of them. Not the one that Lysander attacked. And I would like to hit him with my great axe.
Roll to hit.
That is 17 to hit.
That is a hit. Roll for damage.
That is 15 damage.
Go ahead and describe your fatality.
So, with a giant smile on my face, I would like to bring my great axe down right into his face so that it splatters me with his blood as I turn and look at the rest of them, still with the giant smile and his blood dripping off of me.
Fantastic, and you do just that. Next up, the Eclipse.
Alright, I would like to take a swing at them with my quarterstaff.
Okay, at a different one or one that's been attacked already?
Let's do the one that's been attacked already.
Okay, go ahead.
16.
That will hit.
And that is a 10 damage.
Go ahead and describe this fatality.
With my quarterstaff, I will take a violent swing towards his torso, hopefully crushing his ribs and the organs inside.
Absolutely. You crush his ribs and he winces in pain, and then with his existing bleeding from the sickle of Lysander, he just falls unconscious and he's continuing to bleed out. You hear him coughing as he's struggling to breathe. Is there anything else you would like to do?
That's it.
Okay. Moving on. We have Zizix.
I'll be looking for where the Chewinga is.
Chewinga is actually on Eclipse's shoulders, and with each swing that Eclipse took, it's swinging its fists, trying to imitate like it's punching alongside with her.
I'm raising him right.
Not really sure what to do. He's kind of concerned that the Chewinga is going to fall off her back, so he's going to kind of just hold back and just, if the Chewinga falls off of her, he's going to come to its rescue.
Okay, that works for me. Now it's the bandit's turn. The one bandit, seeing its two felled companions, is going to try and attack Carcass. And that's going to be a 9 to hit.
No, he will miss Carcass.
Okay. The next one is going to take a swing at Lysander for felling one of his buddies. That's going to be an 18 to hit.
Yeah, Yeah, that hits.
Alright. That's going to be 5 points of slashing damage as he reaches back with his short sword and drives that blade right into one of your joints, and it makes some penetration.
Ouch.
The next one will take a swing at Eclipse. With a nat 1, so that is a critical miss, as you just so elegantly dodge the blade that comes swinging out at you, carefully making sure that you're not dropping the Chewinga or creating a situation where it has to keep its balance. Your monk training has made you really good at your posture while fighting.
Nice.
Then the last remaining one looks at Vega and goes to take a swing at him.
Hey there, buddy.
There's a 14 to hit.
No, that will not hit.
And that will miss as well. Okay. That brings us to Lea Ponte's turn.
Is there I just need a descriptor. Is there anyone within like the 10-foot radius of me specifically?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Is the one still alive that was engaged with Lysander?
No, that one's dead. Or bleeding out.
Cool. I will, with my short sword, take a fierceful slash at the nearest one to my person.
Okay, go for it.
That's going to be a 15.
Oh yeah, that's gonna hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
That will be 12 damage.
12 damage. Go ahead and describe this fatality.
I, with a very precise flash across the Adam's apple of this bandit's throat, as it bleeds, I will grab the back of his head and pull him next to me to whisper into his ear, "You can thank the night thief," and then I will give him a kiss on the cheek as he falls over dead.
Very nice. Alright, and that should bring us to Vega. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna look right up at the guy who just swung and missed at me.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna say, all right, my turn there, buddy. And take a swing at him with my scimitar.
Okay, go ahead and roll to attack.
That would be a 21.
21 definitely hits.
That would be 5 slashing damage.
Alright, very nice. You slash into him, and breaching the heavy winter clothing that he has, you see blood start to drip onto his clothing, letting you know that you landed that strike full.
Alright, and then I am going to use my bonus action to weapon fighting and take another slash at him with my dagger.
Go for it.
That would be a 22.
That'll hit.
And that would be max damage, so 6.
Okay, you get to describe this fatality.
Yeah, so as I said, after he swung and missed at me, I'm gonna look at him and go, all right, my turn there, buddy. and slash him with the scimitar. And then as he's looking down at the wound, immediately drive the dagger into the side of his head.
Grotesque. I love it.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Alright, and with there being 2 remaining, they put their weapons down and they say, wait, we surrender. Let us go.
The Ponte will step forward and say, you can leave if you empty your pockets, so we know that you have no other weapons.
Alright. During that time, since it would be Lysander...
Oh, yeah. On initiative, my bad.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I just wanted to be sure that everyone was going to take the time to pause while this is happening.
Yeah, but I'm gonna step up next to LaPonte with my sickle out. Be like, yeah, do as he says. It'd be to your benefit.
No, since there is one standing in front of me and I am raging, I will hit him still.
Alright, go ahead and roll to attack.
That's a 25 to hit.
Oh yeah, that's gonna hit.
And that is 14 damage.
Describe this fatality.
So, I hit the last one right in the face, so this one I would like to take a step to his side and just put my Great Axe right into his stomach. And then slowly draw the Great Axe back across as I stare at the one that is still standing.
Okay. And as that happens, this happens simultaneously as the other one starts to empty his pockets. He takes off his heavy winter clothing and begins to drop the extra dagger that was in his clothing. And then he looks over to his left and he sees his friend being split in half by this ever-smiling Minotaur who is covered in blood, and he says, "Oh shit!"
Ponte will shout, "Run!"
And he's going to do just that and run as fast as he can back to town the way he was going.
Carcass down.
Will that take us out of initiative? Him fleeing?
Yes, and it would engage a chase.
Very good. I would like to run after him then.
Oh, shit.
And I would like to use my action to dash towards him.
Absolutely. And he is only 5 feet away, and he's going to make an athletics check, as will you, sprinting in this heavy snow.
Athletics?
Mm-hmm.
That is a 25.
Oh, this guy is not traversing the snow at all. He falls down in a panic, and he continues to try to get himself back up, but he is just not having a good time trying to keep his balance on the ice. And you find yourself but 5 feet away from him with him on the ground.
Good. So, do I have to use the dash to get to him?
No, not with his athletics check.
Great. Then I will swing my Great Axe down on him.
Okay, go ahead and roll with advantage.
With advantage, that is a 26 to hit.
And that will hit. Go ahead and roll for damage.
All right. That is 19 points of damage.
Describe this fatality as this man is face down on the ground trying to get back up to all fours and crawl away.
Great. As he starts to get back up, I would like to simply bring my Great Axe down with both hands right into the middle of his back.
And you feel the crushing and splitting of bone as you descend that great axe down into his spine. He is motionless.
Very good. And then I will sink my great axe down into the snow next to him and reach my hand inside and try and pull bones out.
Okay. I guess technically I would make that a survival check, as that kind of goes hand in hand with like skinning animals and extracting particular components from them.
That is a 17.
Yeah, you definitely pull out some bone with a little bit of spliced jelly-like fluid that is clinging to the bone.
Okay, now, since everyone is dead, I would like to then turn back to the rest of the party and, with a giant smile on my face, say, okay, I have killed everyone.
And we are very proud of you, my friend.
And Zizix is over in the background hurling his guts up because of all the blood and all the gore that's been happening around him.
Yes, and I am just covered in blood.
Yes, you are.
And Zizix is just kind of like to say out, what is wrong with you people?
Turn to LaPonte and say, do you need to put your dog on a leash?
Leon Ponte will turn to Lysander and say, there have been many men who have underestimated Carcass as being no more than a pet. And he'll lean in a little closer and say, I suggest you don't do the same. Then Leon Ponte will walk over to Carcass and help him clean some of the blood off of him.
All right, and I will kind of put my hand up, and so do not wipe away my victory, my friend.
Leon Ponte will nod understandingly, but remind Carcass that, my friend, we are going into a town, and remember, it is easier to get into the town and find what we need if we aren't covered in blood. We've learned that before.
So you guys head back to town, and you guys, after, I believe, 2.5 hours left of traveling, make it to East Haven. It is nightfall at this point. Where would you guys like to go?
To the inn, I suppose.
Right. So, heading towards the inn. It's a busy night. It's full of patrons. Lots of drinking, lots of revelry. Some people familiar to Lea Ponte that he's seen before. And also familiar, you see Velen sitting in the back of the tavern in her usual spot. And her eyes are expressing a shocked look on her face.
Eclipse will walk over to Valen with the chewinga and say, we have returned with the chewinga you requested.
I can see that.
And say, he has a name.
And what is that?
It's Fenthwick. Fizzlebang.
Fenthwick. Interesting. I did not know that they had names.
The first time for everything.
Well, if everything then is in order, I can take him off your hands.
Eclipse will look at Fenthwig and say, "Would you wish to leave us?"
And he looks at you, and then he looks at Velen, and he nods because he had his fun, and he's interested to see what if you trust this person, and he's totally okay with leaving.
Eclipse will set him on the table in front of her.
Okay. And Velen will tap the Chewinga on his shoulder that's looking at you, and it turns around, and she hands him a berry, and Chewinga is very excited and starts nibbling at it and starts eating it, and apparently was very hungry and is looking forward to this delicious, juicy treat. Now then, I believe compensation is in order?
I believe it is, yes.
Where'd the music gone? There it is. Well, this one looks like it's been treated quite well. It's a little hungry, but they get hungry often. Did you trust them? And the Chewinga looks up at her and nods. And then she looks back at him and says, "Which one do you trust the most?" And he points at Eclipse. "Are there any of them that you're not sure of?" And the Chewinga points at Zizix, and it points at Carcass, and goes into a whole sign language rant about how Carcass took the fork, and he grabs the fork that's laying on the table and shoves it towards Carcass's direction and just grips it really angrily, and then throws it down on the ground and starts stamping his feet on the table. And she looks at Carcass and says, "Well, that's to be expected. He's a very menacing person, so I am not surprised by that, but that's okay." And then she looks back to the Chewinga and asks, "Do you think they are capable?" The Chewinga takes one last look at the party, looks back at Velen, and nods his head. And she says, "Good. Now if you would like more berries, I have many more waiting for me at home if you would like to accompany me." And she pulls out a sack, and the sound of coins hitting the table as it's still in this little satchel. She says, "There's 50 gold in there for taking good care of this one. I believe we'll be in touch again if that is amenable to you."
Of course.
Alright. In that case, I will talk to you all soon. I will find you. And she takes the Chewinga by the hand and starts walking out. As they approach the door, the Chewinga looks back one last time and pulls its hand free and comes running over to Eclipse. And it gives a big hearty wave. What would Eclipse like to do in response?
She'll wave back.
And then it extends its arm out like it wants to hold your hand for only a minute.
She'll oblige.
And you see this magical force emanate from its hand as it glows and it shoots up your arm, and you see this white aura just envelop your body. It has charmed you with the charm of the ice troll. This charm allows you to use your reaction when you take cold damage to reduce it to 0. You regain a number of hit points equal to half the cold damage you would have taken. And once you do, the charm vanishes from you. And I'll go ahead and send you the specifics in Messenger so you can write that down.
Thank you. Eclipse will nod and say thank you very much.
And it waves goodbye one last time and runs back to the door with Velen, who then leave the tavern. And with that, that is where we're going to end for tonight. And you all have leveled up.
Hey!
So, that was a lot of fun. That was a fun session. A lot of role play. We got a good battle in, though.
Did we? I mean, Zizix blacked out. I don't know what happened.
Poor Zizix was hysterically puking out of fear. That's
horribly puking. Horribly puking. Man, I think we all had a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sad I lost my little buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a lab. I don't know what you guys talked about. It was fun.
All right. Well, I'm going to take this time to tell everyone in the chat thank you again for coming to hang out. And if you haven't already, hit the follow button. Come back next week, same time, same place. We'll be here running weekly on Wednesdays, Rime of the Frost Maiden. Thank you guys very much for stopping by. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
You guys.
Hi, Mom.